82% of employees say they need more human connection. And yet, nobody is really talking about this. AI was supposed to free us up. We were supposed to have more time. And yet, with all the added technologies, people are actually working longer hours. They're more frustrated. They're scared about if their jobs are going to be taken away by technology. And we are creating entire populations in the workforce of efficient strangers. Think about this for a minute. If you manage a team of people, do you want them to be efficient strangers? If you plan a conference, do you want 500 or 1,000 people in the conference hall who are efficient strangers? I don't think that's what we want. I think we want to have more community, collaboration, and conversation. Yet every piece of dialogue that's taking place in the business world right now is looking at the next AI tool. I will go on the record and tell you the latest AI tool, the perfect prompt, neither one of those things are going to help you build connections in the workplace. And what's being lost? Well, it's certainly not productivity. It's not efficiency. What's being lost are those hallway conversations that happen when people come together and just start talking to each other, when they just start connecting. And the serendipity of it leads to fresh ideas. Without those collisions of people, we're starting to lose on fresh ideas. I wrote my first book on human connections in 2005. And over the last 22 years, people have repetitively told me that, well, that's about networking. That's a soft skill. I'll tell you what, there's nothing soft about it. Human interaction, what I call HI, is the most important thing right now as we go through all of these technological changes. And in this year, in 2026, there's over a dozen books being released by the largest publishing houses by authors who you know of, famous best-selling authors and researchers, people like Adam Grant, Angela Duckworth, the CEO of LinkedIn. They're all releasing books that are either directly about the human side of business and connections, or the book very heavily leans to this idea of how do we relate to each other in the workplace. Now, anytime that all the publishing houses release books on similar topics, that doesn't happen by accident. That happens because there's a big trend and something very important is happening in our society. I believe that is that people are getting frustrated because technology, 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 it's great. I am not anti-technology. I run a technology council. I talk to tech executives on a daily basis. However, if all we focus on is efficiency, speed, and the next AI tool, we're losing humanity. And that's what is scaring people in the workforce right now. And this is where I talk about the whole idea of connections. My keynote is called Human Interaction, HI, in an AI-driven world. And we go deep into how and why having these connections matters, why the serendipity of having connections with people you work with in your company, in your industry, in your community, in your faith community, why actually knowing a little bit about people and putting yourself out there to get to know them, taking the risk on building a relationship, why it's more important right now than ever before. And if we're not paying attention to it, companies and conferences and communities that aren't paying attention are going to find themselves more disconnected with more people who are lonely and lost in the future. If this resonates with you, I'm going to challenge you 2 times in the next week. Take 1 hour on 2 separate days to connect with somebody. You can either do that in person or on a Zoom call. But I'm going to tell you, if you do a Zoom call, it's not as effective. So get face to face, schedule a happy hour, schedule coffee, schedule lunch, and sit down with somebody and just ask questions and listen. You don't have to have an agenda. You don't have to be selling them anything. Just take the time to sit face to face, share some stories, and then figure out what do they need? Because you might hold the answer to solve their biggest challenge. And if you do that, that's going to help you build connections. I know that this is an important topic, and I know that most of you believe this is an important topic. So whether you talk to me about it, whether you bring me in to speak at your event, or whether you just start having dialogues with all the people around you about why connections matter, why human interaction, why HI is equally as important as AI in this giant technology tsunami that we're going through right now. My name is Thom Singer. You can find me at thomsinger.com.